getting that over Zoom. We haven't started streaming. So Zoom is letting through some sound. Interesting.
I'll say, I don't think it's me because I don't have nothing playing in the back.
No, that's the, yeah. I can stop that. Yeah, that's the promo. It's what people hear and listen. It's just usually you don't hear that going on the Zoom. Okay. All right, here we go. Oops, wait a minute, what's the name? Lord.
We gonna get it.
I say, Nate, what you could do is,
I can get her on. She's here. Or I gotta get a camera on there. Lord, I tell you. That's not it. There you are. Okay, and I'm gonna take me out of the Zoom picture. That one, yeah. Okay. Now that's a better setup. Where'd he go? Okay, now we lost
I say, I'm still here.
George. Okay. There you are. Okay, I know where it is. This one,
Hey y'all, how y'all doing? This is Lyne't with the Lyne't Gray Show here live with George Fuller for the People, LLC. We are having technical difficulties. This is our first night back in the studio. Hey, I'm excited to be back in the studio, y'all. If you are having a hard time, just give us some feedback because Mr. Walker's working on it as we go. You're listening to the Lyne't Gray Show here on KUAW. Knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. Kansas City's first global community radio station. You're most likely listening to us on Facebook by typing the letters KUAW-radio. You can also type in the letters KUAW on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, the TuneIn app, and Periscope. We have an ongoing station fundraiser. Oh, we also have a Twitch channel. That's awesome. We have an ongoing station fundraiser. You all might hear some feedback. Let me know what you do. We're having an ongoing station fundraiser for our upgrades of the office, the new studio, much more spacious, exciting. Your generous donations contribute to us being able to continue to do this. Our telephone number for callers is 816-599-6893. We may or may not have callers because Mr. Walker's working his sound system right now, so I don't think we got callers. So y'all, if you don't answer, don't get upset. No. We got a whole lot going on because he's trying to figure out how to get some things.
ask George if he can still hear us.
Can you still hear us, George?
Yeah, you're coming in clear.
We're trying to get some things operating properly. We want to go ahead and give George Fuller or Jorge Fuller for the people. Go ahead and those Jorge.
Well, good evening. Am I coming in clear?
Can you hear?
I can hear you all. Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
He said go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay, I'll take that. Go ahead. Welcome for this little short segment of Jorge Fuller for the People. Also Fuller for the People LLC. Also Jorge Fuller. Tonight I bring to you just a brief message about the Village, Kansas City. It is a nonprofit that I get to be privileged to be on the executive board for. We have some events coming up, and I'm asking that you all show up and support because I can tell you this and I can account for it and attest for it. Every dollar that you put in goes right back out to our youth and services, whether it is going to be physical health as well as arts. We have programming coming up, and I want to start off with November 26th. We have our Teen Fire Night. If you did not see us during the summer, Teen Fire Night was the topic and hot of the town. Not only that, it was inspiration for other fire nights that specifically focused on teenagers within Kansas City. We also have our gala week coming up. Yes, I said it right, a gala week. And we have a week long worth of events starting out Tuesday, 11:30, November 30th, with Giving Tuesday. There's going to be a drive fundraising for you to give to us. There's going to be opportunities to give via PayPal, which is on our villagekc.org website, or give on Facebook as well. Or you can actually adopt a kid and purchase items for the wonderful workshop that we have going on, which is Joy in the Village. Joy in the Village is our teen gift drive. We know you're used to getting gifts for children that are ages 5 or actually 10 and below. We want to make sure we specifically focus in on our ages 11 through 18. Wednesday night, that is going to be 12/1, would be Yogurtini on the Plaza. If you go to Yogurtini on December 1st, just let them know that you're there to support the Village KC, and a percentage of your proceeds from that evening comes right back to us and right back to your youth. Thursday, we have our Mix and Mingle networking happening. If you don't know about it, you need to go to thevillagekc.org. Once again, thevillagekc.org. That event is present there. Then Friday, we have our youth art showcase where you can actually purchase artwork that our youth have actually made at the hands of the wonderful Miss Blewett, our Kansas City native Miss Blewett, that's been doing artwork all over the town. Then Saturday, we have our gala evening. If you don't think that's a whole lot, then that's okay. I promise you, you will see that we have so many sponsors and partners. I'm proud to say that the Lyne't Gray Show is showing up in partnership with us and being present with us. And thanking you this evening for allowing me to have this time to share it, but also being willing to showcase them. That was just 2 minutes with me, hopefully. I appreciate that time. Thank you for following Fuller for the People LLC or Jorge Fuller for the People on all platforms. Website coming soon.
Go.
All right.
All right, thank you so much, Jorge, or we call him George, but it's
We want y'all
Jorge.
to
We
remember
want y'all to.
when it comes time to vote. I'm hearing an echo.
I am just
But
to go.
I'm gonna go on ahead and keep on talking. Today we have several. I've been watching.
I've been watching, I don't know how many of y'all, George, I don't know if you got to see it. The harder they fall, the Western. It is amazing, y'all. Y'all gotta watch that. And you have to watch, uh, Colin in Black and White. Colin Kaepernick's series. I'm so upset it was only one season. But let's discuss the harder they fall first. A lot of people are upset that Stagecoach Mary is a light-skinned sister. The only reason why I say that we should keep true to skin color is because as you move forward in history, if they portray her as a lighter skinned woman, they'll hold on to that narrative. And so you have to be careful of the image that you put out amongst people who are not with the black community. That being said, don't cancel the show. It's a good show. Don't cancel it. Don't need to cancel it. I don't know if it's a show, movie, whatever. I've just done the first part. But no need to just go around canceling everything, y'all. Give the show a chance. Allow them to do what they do with the show. But it's a good show. Some other people are upset because it doesn't have country and western music. The music is not true and authentic to the actual, theme of the show. Come on, y'all. A light-skinned woman playing Stagecoach Mary. and over not having country and western music. I'm not understanding this whole cancel culture. I can't get with it. I really can't. Y'all are doing the most. I'm gonna let George chime in and say how you feel about it. Go ahead,
First
Jorge.
off, as we go into this movie, we dive deep into historically an accurate story presenting us in a different, more fictional narrative, but historical fiction coming through and shining. If you did not know, The Harder They Fall is based off of a fictional story. You can actually look that up and you can read the book. There is a book to it. Read it. Those characters being present, I understand that visually appealing characters always seem to take forefront, and I get some of that cancel culture and that mindset. But in reality, she embodied the role. If you did not know what Stagecoach Mary looked like, or did not know anything previously to it without researching, you would think that's exactly how it's supposed to be. So let the actors be actors and fully engross into the film, enjoy it. Uh, Also, the director was a part of the music production portion of it. He made sure that every song in that movie flowed for the actual energy that it was supposed to be there. So if you're upset, like, oh, it's not enough country western into it, sometimes you gotta slow your roll in introducing people to a different genre. In reality, we know country western is no different than hip hop, than R&B, than blues, than jazz, because we can give you that historical perspective.
Yes, and country and western was actually invented by black people. We just, as we're doing with blues and jazz, we just abandoned the genre of music. And when we abandon the genre of music, other nationalities and races are able to step in and take over. And the reason why I say nationalities, because you have Keith Urban, who is Australian, and he's a big country music star, but he's Australian. So that's the reason why I said nationalities and races. Um, I would like to address with us the thing that has to do with colorism in our own community. It's one thing to be upset that Stagecoach Mary is not accurately represented, but it's another thing to feel like you have to cancel anyone who, like Zendaya, they got upset at her for going, I forgot who Zendaya was supposed to play. And they got upset at, oh, that's, Zendaya doesn't match. You know, at some point, and I understand that my daughter is a chocolate woman, so I understand the dark skinned women's, what they've gone through. I've seen her be tortured by lighter skinned women for being dark skinned. Well, girls in school, it's not women. The women antagonize now, but it's the ignorance. But at one point in time, what point in time do we get past the colorism in our community? What point in time do we say it doesn't matter what skin color someone is? We're going to back and support them. I have a Facebook friend, Aoife, and Aoife is powerful in what she's teaching on social media. But Aoife is overlooked by all because of her dark skin. And it just came out that a woman who is, I don't even know her name, but she's Dominican, Puerto Rican, and says she's African American. She got charged with Prince Daniel's wife. She got charged with scamming businesses out of money. But you know the only reason why her spiritual business blew up is because of her skin color. So as a black community, when do we value the darker skin and take it serious and push it to the forefront and just get rid of the whole colorist mindset? When do we decide that we're going to do that? That's a question that I have. That's a question that I would love. And you even see this, you know, overseas. When I went to Ghana, we were getting pushed to the front of the line, and people were eager to help us because my skin tone. So this is something that's not just USA. This is something that's worldwide, and we have to address the light being right, or the lighter being whiter. But I say it don't have to be dark. You just, as long as you're fair enough. Um, when do we, as a people, how do we as a people address this and fix this situation? I'm gonna let George chime in.
I'll say what you're mentioning is a symptom of post-traumatic slave syndrome, right? Like this is pretty much by psychology definition embedded into us that the lighter or fairer skins get more opportunities and less oppression, which is actually incorrect in our community. We all get the same oppression, we all get the same treatment. Yes, a lighter skin may be able to be more passing, or as a friend of mine calls it, white adjacent, right, and be treated as such, but that doesn't take away the level of oppression that they may or may not experience, because you got to assume that they're going to be oppressed not only by the white side of their genetics, but the black side of their genetics as well, because they are seen as something that is mixed or composed of too many different factors to be able to identify as one specific force. Colorism is truly another form of bigotry and oppression under the prejudice, because we've governed it to be so. We have allowed it and continue to grant power for it. When we start looking at it from that perspective and addressing that we have our own internal biases, which is also a subscript of post-traumatic slave syndrome, then we would be able to truly be able to be rid of it. But in reality, a lot of times we are assuming the same grace and acceptance of it because we think the lighter the writer versus your skin tone or this pigmentation or lack thereof has no authority in your frame. Because if we were to look at someone that was albino, they are just as black as the darkest one that we can find. And I'll pass it back to you, Dave.
Absolutely. And the thing that I like for people to understand, Jay-Z said it best in the story of OJ. The racists still see you as what? So we all can begin to get along and understand that we are all family. We're the same people. I can't tell you how many times I've had to explain to Africans that I'm still African. My ancestors were forced to integrate with other, not even integrate, let's say. My ancestors was raped, y'all, and that's the reason why we look like this. I'm not even going to say integrate because we were not forced to integrate. They raped.
That is just as evil as allowing or sitting there and watching a white person torture one of us. When we look at it as that mindset, that we separate each other among skin tones in our own community, is just as evil as allowing another race or a racist white person to torture us. Then hopefully the mindset will change. Like you said, post-traumatic slave syndrome. But at some point in time, we have to come out of that because we know right from wrong. We can tell people what they're doing to us is wrong. We can stand up and say, stop killing us. We can stand up and say, we don't like that the other nationalities besides the white or Europeans, we don't like the way they treat us. But we can't look within and say, let's stop this. I'm going to segue into Colin in Black and White. And someone came into my inbox after I was ranting and raving about Colin's show. And he goes, well, you know he's only getting that kind of attention because he's yellow. I don't like that saying, first off. He was like, if he was a black man, look how they did Jim Brown, and look how they did, what's his teammate, Eric, what was his teammate that kneeled with him? I don't know if you remember his name, George. Oh my goodness.
I say I'm the
But
wrong.
he was saying
that the teammate didn't get that because he wasn't as light skinned. He didn't get the pass that Colin got.
And so, what'd you say, George?
I was saying or mentioning that I'm the wrong one for sports trivia, but I understand where you're going with it. We had other teams or other NFL players like Marcus Peters uh, that might not get the same highlight, or my brother Lynch, he might not get the same highlight as that. So I get where they're trying to come from, but in reality, the movement, the face of the movement was and is Colin Kaepernick. So if you are trying to figure out why he's getting this movement right here, this media coverage or this limited series, first off, it's a limited series. Secondly, he was able to project not only his story, but project those things and hardships that he faced into a way that he can be successful. So there's a little bit more to it than just the color of his skin.
And what I love about it is, I will say this, the way he was teaching, he didn't just tell his own story. He started out teaching the story of Allen Iverson. And many people didn't recognize what Allen Iverson went through. But those of us who watched Allen Iverson from beginning to end, and watch how they demonized Allen Iverson for simply having braids in his hair. Because in the beginning, Allen just started with straight backs, like the men always wore. They just wore straight backs. Ever since, if you saw a man with braids when we were younger, he just wore straight backs. But the more that they demonized him, the more they called him a thug, the more they turned him into this negative basketball player, that's when Allen's hairstylist started doing the more intricate braids on him. That's when that became his style. And one thing that they kept trying to say, he was ruining basketball. I kept hearing that, and I don't know if Colin mentioned that, but they were saying that Allen Iverson was ruining basketball because of his hairstyle. A hairstyle. And so that's the thing that we as a people, we need to join together and support one another. And granted, like Marcus Garvey said, not everybody is meant for the movement. Some folks just want to be as far away from black as they can possibly be, and they're black. Don't get upset at those folks. That's their survival method. I no longer even get upset at them because that's their survival method. But like the man who told his sons dress in vests and jackets, and then his son was still mistreated by the police officers. He had to learn that it's not about how you dress. It's not about how educated you are. It's not about any of that. It's about your skin tone. I need for everyone to do this one thing, and this is, I'm just letting y'all know, I'm going to be on my blackity black kick. My birthday is on Sunday, November 14th. I actually have a KUAW radio fundraiser, and for some reason, Facebook only put $200. I was trying to do like over 1,000. So y'all can keep giving to the fundraiser till it over like extends to 200. But I want to thank Corey and Corley for giving, my big sister. And her sister also gave, but I couldn't pull her name up. It won't let me go into the fundraiser while I'm on live right now, or on KUAW. But I am, and let's stop doing this. Let's stop thinking because someone is pro-black that they're anti-white. The sister I just named is Lebanese. Most people would think from looking at her that she's white. Regardless, I have people who I love that are white, so that means nothing. It just means that I fully support my people. I fully support our movement as long as it's done in a tasteful manner. Now, I do not say don't be violent, because violence is the language of the unheard. But let's not get ourselves killed either, y'all. That's all I'm saying. So anyways, now that I got off my soapbox, when we talk about, they call it light skin privilege or pretty privilege. That's the new name for it, pretty privilege. They're saying the lighter skin, the lighter than the paper bag people have a privilege that people who are darker than paper bags don't have. However the movement is accepted, let's get the movement out there. Those people see themselves as black. Colin Kaepernick sees himself as black. If he's able to get the movement out there and they will not kill him because he almost reminds them of him, let him put that movement out there. Let him bring attention to our plight. Not just our, but he is in ours. Let's work with him. Let's stop fighting against him. It's time that we all begin to work together. Because in 2030, the black community will have a zero net worth. Think about that. George, I know you got some statistics for me, because this is my intelligence side. I got the GED. Go ahead and hit this with some, George.
I don't have the specific stats, and I probably could look it up, but I would say in agreement to that, when we look at his story, we began to engage into that conversation. One of the scenes, or one of the actual episodes discussed his first significant girlfriend. And that girlfriend was someone that they would joke and say, oh, she was blue-black. Right?
Yeah.
But in reality, it didn't change the level of beauty that she had, that she brought with her, the spirit and essence of it. And so it's kind of funny to see how it was another black character talking about this character in a degrading manner. But in reality, it wasn't. It was just one of those like, okay, this is the community we live in. This is the epitome of beauty for that. And so in America, we live in a society where the epitome of beauty is still white, right? And even across the seas, it's still considered that way. That's why you have people bleaching their skin. That's why you have all of these cosmetic situations. And it's also enhanced by social media. So when we start to say we need to engage in accepting who you are, the beauty that you bring to the table, not for the pigmentation of your skin, but the beauty that you bring in the essence that you have, that's what we're saying. When we look at Colin's story, his story in particular is saying that these are the things that I faced as a young child, right? Before I even got into the NFL, because we know he gets into the NFL, we know he becomes successful in that point in the end of it, but in reality, we didn't see the hurdles, the rejections, the amount of times that he had to put in, the amount of things that he had to do and sacrifice, right? Like, I love that he incorporated Allen Iverson in there, because I remember when I was a kid, Allen Iverson and Kobe were the two hottest basketball players. And they were the ones that everybody, you would either hear them shout out, like, I'm doing an Iverson move when you're doing a crossover, or you're doing a fadeaway jumper like Kobe. That was what those are the epitomes of greatness, and they were still deemed into negative fashions, right? And so when we have to look at this, we have to see what we internalize against ourselves, and then began to speak differently of ourselves. So yes, the cornrows, the new hairstyle, the reason why I have hair is to show that not only am I intelligent to embrace what I have in front of me, but also I am beautiful the way I want to be, not because society has deemed a certain criteria or a certain aspect. If I want to wear a three-piece suit, I'm going to wear a three-piece suit. If I want to wear a t-shirt and jeans or sweats or joggers, I'm going to do so. That's what I can do. It don't change your intelligence because of the aesthetics that someone else deems to be appropriate. And so when we discuss whether or not it's being pro-black is against white, no, that's not what we're saying. We're saying, looking at statistically proven data, we are at a net worth of 11% less, right? So if they have 110,000, we have maybe $11,000 worth of net worth. That's the way it generates for us. And even then, it's actually probably even less than that. And so when we get into it financially, it makes sense for me to steer people to support organizations that are pro-black, that want black organizations to be uplifted, like KUAW, like the Lyne't Show, like the Village KC, like Fuller for the People LLC, because in order for us to get to where we need to be, we have to support each other internally first, then externally people will support us. You know, we are the highest grossing entity when it comes to entertainment, the highest grossing entity when it comes to sports, the highest grossing entity when it comes to academics, because our black women have the most doctoral degrees. So guess what they probably have with those doctoral degrees? Student
Student
loans.
loans. Mm-hmm.
So that is the highest grossing in all of those three sectors: academia, you have sports and entertainment. So when you're trying to say whether or not black is profitable, that's not it. It is profitable, but it's profitable for everybody else but us. So now we need to take that but us out and make it profitable for everyone, including us. So
Yes.
yes, buy black, shop black, support black, and while doing so, if you have to go to Walmart, we're not telling you not to go to Walmart.
Right.
We gonna go. Heck, we know most of the T-shirts you buying that's maybe running $50 probably can be found at Walmart, and they putting their stuff on it. I'm not gonna
Absolutely.
challenge nobody's narrative on their hustle, but I'm saying if you're really truly saying you're supporting the design, that's a time for them to do. That's a time for them to find that product and production. So be sure that you support fully and make those financial commitments and investments. And I'm gonna say happy early birthday. And if you have not, donate to KUAW on behalf of the Lyne't Gray Show.
Infiltrator. I'm not gonna call out her race, but she had the nerve to comment on something, and it says black women, and we like, why are you even in here? But she's in there to get recipes to probably take the way we talk and all of that and put it in her book, or to maybe she's a writer and she's trying to be authentic. Here's the thing about it that we need to understand as a people: a house divided against itself will not stand. That does not mean you run around hating everybody, because energy flows where attention goes. If you focus on hate, you're with negative situations. But you can focus on love and gratitude and support your own. Support the Village KC. Support Box Out Stress. Support Fuller for the People. Support the Lyne't Gray Show. Support KUAW, BFTAA, and A Steam Village. Support uh, the A Flat Music Orchestra. These are black organizations that just want greatness for us all. And so this is the Lyne't Gray Show. Thank y'all for sticking with us through the technical difficulties. Mr. Walker said, I don't know if you want your name on this. I want my name on it. I don't mind. I appreciate him just getting us on air, and he's working out the kinks through this show. So I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all for sticking with us. I want to thank George Fuller, my son Jorge, Jorge. Jorge Fuller, Fuller for the People. Remember that name when it's time to go out and vote, whenever he decides he want to run again, because he does a whole lot. And we appreciate you, Jorge. We really do. Real quick, we got less than a minute. Give us the Village KC event dates, please.
So the event dates are November 26th, November 30th, December 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And then be sure to help out for the Joy in the Village toy drive, or not toy drive, but gift drive for our teenagers. It is ongoing until December 18th, where we're going to make deliveries, and our final delivery goes out December 18th. Follow us at thevillagekc.org and all platforms, The Village KC as well.
Thank you so much. And this is the Lyne't Gray Show. I'm going to find something to do for my birthday. I'll probably be asleep. But this is the Lyne't Gray Show here on KUAW. Knowledge, understanding. Oh, yeah. T-Baby. We share the same birthday. Happy birthday, T-Baby. I will see y'all next week, Tuesday, the whatever day it is. I'll remember. I got to go to work in the morning. So I love y'all. Joy, love, peace, happiness, health, wealth, well-being, and total enlightenment. Take care. See you next week.